Hello, whoever is watching this. In this video, I'm going to be showing one random tip/trick that you can do with every single agent. I'm not going to dilly-dally, so let's get into it. So the first tip that I'll be showing is on Astra. So, you can go into her astral form and just place a line of the stars, use all of your stars, and then retrieve them all back as you walk along them, like this, and it'll create a train of smokes that you can travel through and then get an easy hit.
The enemy was punished.
So the next tip I'll be showing is with Breach. As you can see, I have an enemy back here, and if I take out my Aftershock, you can actually make it travel through walls and still do damage. So it goes behind it, and
our job gets a whole lot easier.
So you can still travel through even if there's a wall blocking. So the next tip is for Brimstone. Obviously you can ult to get kills, but if you like smoke in a slightly enclosed area and use all of them, it can confuse the enemies and they don't know where they are, so you can ult them and get an easy kill. So they won't know how to get out. Obviously not 4, but still. So the next tip is actually about Cypher. Not a lot of people know this, but the tripwire does 5 damage. So if an enemy walks through it and they're low enough health, and they stay in it, don't break it, you can get an easy kill with a tripwire. So the next one, which is for Jett, is a little bit odd, actually. So, if you're in like an arched hallway or something, this isn't the best example, you can actually updraft and it slightly boosts you forward like that. If you get good enough at it, you can actually make it so that it's like a dash. So, I don't know exactly how to do that, but it's just a weird little thing that it boosts you a little bit forward like that. So if you get good enough at it, you can get some good boosts. So the next tip is for Killjoy. It's about her ult and her swarm grenades. So if you learn lineups and stuff, I can place an ult, this is just an example, I can place her ult here, and there's a little gap where enemies can hide, and if you learn a lineup to land a swarm grenade in that gap, as you can see, that will land right there, I can actually activate it and get a kill. So the next tip is for Omen. When you go into his shadow world type thing for his smokes, you can see a green arrow that hovers like right under where you're smoking. But if it turns red, that means that it'll stay with
Cover going out.
So this isn't a best example, but you can still see that it's not like moving down or anything. Whereas if you place a smoke with a green arrow,
shadows traveling,
it'll fall. The next tip is for Phoenix. So his hot hands obviously acts like a normal volley, except the fact that when you throw it, after a little bit, it just goes straight down. So you can use this for useful lineups and stuff. So if you just make up one like this, I throw it up, and then it falls back down, and you can get a kill if it's
ready.
Another tip is for Rays. So, not a lot of people know this, but obviously
Satchel out.
double satchel out. But they can also do 50 damage. So if you think there might be an enemy around the corner, you can throw a satchel on it if you don't have any nades or anything, and get a kill. So another tip is for Reyna. When you put out her eyeball, obviously enemies can destroy it, but if you put it high up, they will have to either look at the eyeball or have to look at you, and they can't really flick from one to the other, so they're basically choosing pre-fire you or destroy the eyeball. Either way, they're probably going to die. So just like this.
Still in sight.
The next tip is for Sage. So obviously they have the cool Sage walls and everything, but they can be kind of difficult to get the hand of. So a good way to practice is just like find things that you can't jump onto necessarily, but you can still easily boost to them. So this was a bad example because you wouldn't waste a wall on this, but you can still jump or raise up. So you just want to see the little indicator that is going to be up there, and you look down, and then you jump, get up. The next tip is for Skye. So, her Tasmanian Tiger actually does 30 damage if you get a direct hit. If you get a group hit, it only concusses, but if you directly hit an enemy, it actually does 30 damage, and you can hunt. Just like that.
Oh crap.
So you know how Jett, Rays have abilities that can boost you up onto higher areas?
Satchel out.
Well, turns out so does Sova. If you use his ult
I
and
am
look
the
down
hunter!
and
My
jump
ult is ready.
click, it actually boosts you up high enough to higher surfaces.
I am the hunter!
My ult is ready.
So it can give you a vantage point on enemies.
Sure,
The second to last tip is for Viper. So when you ult with her,
Don't get in my way.
not a lot of people know this, you can actually hold down the ult button and it goes down early.
My ultimate is ready.
So obviously when you walk out of it, it has that little timer. But say you need to put it down early for whatever reason, you can hold down the ult button and it'll go down. So the last tip is for yoru. Obviously you can't place the waypoint thingamabob on higher surfaces, but a really weird glitch is that if you get somewhere useful and you place footsteps
Decoy.
under you, and then you can place it up and get a vantage point. It's very odd because if you do it just normally, you can't. But if you place footsteps
Decoy.
under you and stand on them,
Back soon.
apparently Valorant thinks you're like slightly higher, which means go up on it. Weird, but it works. Well, I hope these tips were helpful, and see you in the next one.